Right then guys, how's it going, and welcome back to Toon Tuesdays, your weekly roundup of Newcastle United news. Now, we've actually got some good news to talk about this week, believe it or not. We had some signings, new signings at the weekend. We had a pre-season win at the weekend as well, and I'm also going to talk about the beginning of the Premier League this upcoming weekend and our game against Arsenal. But before I get into all of that, I want to give myself a little bit of a shout out. Basically, I started up a fantasy football league yesterday. If any of you guys do fantasy football and would like to take part in my league, please do. I did the video last night, so be sure to go and check it out on the channel. All of the league code details and stuff will be on there. I actually had a few thousand people take part in it last season. So far, I've got a few hundred in the league this season, and I would love to get up to the numbers that I had last year. So if you do fantasy football, you want to get involved, it is just for a bit of fun, and I do post fantasy football videos every now and then to kind of keep up with the league and what's going on. So yeah, if you want to get involved, please do. And yeah, let's get on with it. So as I say, we had a pretty good weekend. On Friday, we made two new signings. Not one, two. I mean, one of them's on loan, but it's still two signings in my eyes. It's literally like buses. You wait forever and they all come at once. I was literally on my way to my mate's house for a night out, and it was all coming through on the Twitter and everything like that. So it made for a pretty good Friday night, I'm not going to lie. The first one, Saint Maximin, the 22-year-old winger forward player from Nice. We've expected to, I think it's around 20 million for this guy. We've paid us at 18 million, rising to 20 million, around that. So, you know, a fair price. He looks pacey, he looks agile, technically good. He wears a headband. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. I suppose up here, he probably doesn't need it because it's not going to be very hot in Newcastle. Although it might keep the rain out of his eyes, I suppose. But yeah, it's something to be excited about. The prospect of Almiron, Joe Linton, and Saint Maximin up front as a front three is quite exciting. Obviously, at this point, although Almiron did play half the season last season, I would still say he's still getting into the swing of things. Joe Linton has looked very good in the pre-season games, and obviously we've not really seen much at all of Saint Maximin. You know, fingers crossed those front three are going to do us a fantastic job. And as I say, same with the Joe Linton signing. On the face of it, it's another signing, it's another guy through the door, and you know, if these guys can pull it together, we could do all right. Flip side of it, I still don't think it's enough. As I said, the guy looks good. He's young. He's got talent. But it's a big pressure for him, Joe Linton, to walk in, and Almiron, who's only really had a few months, for them three to walk in and, you know, do it in the Premier League. It's a big ask. I think we still ideally need more support up front. But anyway, let's talk about the other signing first. Willems, the left back. As I've said, he is on loan for a season, but Netherlands international. Yeah, I've heard of him. I know a bit about him. He seems all right, and I think it's just bringing in that little bit of competition at left back. I don't think he's a world beater. I don't think he's necessarily going to be fantastic, but you know, we've had Paul Dummett at left back for a very long time, who has been unchallenged. We've had players like Haidara, we've had players like Lazar, who haven't really done it. Obviously, last season we saw Matt Ritchie drop into that left back role, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know whether Matt Ritchie likes to play there. That is a different talking point, because I don't think he particularly likes playing left back or left wing back. But I'll tell you what, I think he does a cracking job. In terms of left backs in the Premier League, the work rate of Matt Ritchie is phenomenal. So I wouldn't, again, unless Matt Ritchie really doesn't want to play there, and we're going to be looking at this Willems guy, so Richie can play further forward. I've no idea. I wouldn't drop Richie for anyone else right now, because I think he has been really good. However, we need some cover, we need some competition, and fingers crossed Willems fits in, does well, and as I said, it's a it's a loan. We haven't bought him. We'll just see how it goes. I've got a cough at the minute. I have been cutting this video down so that I'm not coughing all over the camera, but I couldn't get away with it just then when I started coughing right at the end of a very long segment, so I do apologise. But yeah, as I said, on the face of it, it's 2 new players through the door. Again, looking from the other side in, I think we still need more. I think, well, especially up front, and I mean, we needed new forward players. We've gone out and we've done that. Okay, so I don't necessarily want to be negative around that. I want these players to come in. I want them to do well. But at the same time, I do think we're putting some big pressure on some players who have never played in the Prem before. You know, that was the thing with Rondon. He had the Premier League experience. You know, if we had Rondon now, as well as that scenario, I think I'd be very happy with our attack. Just to have Rondon, to whether he's starting or he's not starting, just someone who knows the league, knows how to get goals. As I said, Joe Linton has looked cracking in the pre-season. I'm just praying he does that for the start and the rest of the season. But deadline day Thursday. 5 PM on Thursday, which means, you know, in the past where the season starts up, oh crap, he's not doing very well, we better buy someone else. You know, there's going to be none of that. It is literally going to cut off before the season starts on Friday, which some people see as a good thing, some people see as a bad thing. The bad thing is if you do walk into a new season and someone gets injured or doesn't look that good, you've got time to go and buy. The downside is if you're a club who's held on to a player all summer and then Man City put in a £50 million bid 3 days into the season, you haven't got time to go and spend that money or whatever. So you can see both perspectives. In terms of Newcastle, it effectively leaves us with around 48 hours. Less than that, obviously. 48 hours to finish our business, and we are still linked with players. We are still linked with Charlie Austin. Personally, I'm not so sure, but then I mean, I've just said we need the experience up front, so what am I doing? I don't know. I just still think we need a few more players through the door. I think the team we've got right now, it's still going to be a very tough season. I mean, I do think we are like playing a fine line at the minute. The players we've brought in, if they walk in and do fantastic, we could do all right. You know, Almiron, Joe Linton, St. Maxin, if they walk in, knit together instantly, we could do all right. We know our defence is solid. Midfield, I'm happy Longstaff is here, don't get me wrong, but I still feel like we could do with 1 or 2 in there. The right back position, I would like to see some cover or maybe another right back. But the front 3, you know, if they knit together and do something this season, we could do all right. If they don't knit together and we have some striker troubles, you know, are we going to be as compact defensively as we were under Rafa Benitez? I don't think so, which means we are going to have to score more goals, which puts more pressure on the new strikers. So as I've said, I'm happy with the players coming in. We needed new players, but I think we still need more. Can we do something before Thursday? I don't know. If you could put in a last-minute sign-in before Thursday, who would it be? Let me know down below. I've just had a thought there as well. Before I move away from the transfers, a young lad has been spotted walking around the inside of St James's Park holding up a Newcastle shirt, and a lot of people are talking about this, saying, is this a new signing about to be revealed? Kind of like the Joe Linton one. I mean, he was spotted about 3 or 4 times in St James's Park before he actually got announced. It looks like a similar situation has been happening with what believes to be, I think I read someone thought it looked like a young French centre-back. I hadn't heard of him. and the name escapes me, and I've not written it down. So, yeah, we could look. That could be another signing through the door. We'll have to wait and see. It's probably happened while I'm doing this video. That's what normally happens. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, I'll talk about the pre-season game. We played against St Etienne at St James's Park, and we won 2-1. Joe Linton played very well. I mean, I wasn't there, so I wasn't there firsthand to kind of give my opinion on it. But from what I've heard, the highlights I've seen and everything else, it sounds like Joe Linton did very well again, along with Matty Longstaff. I mean, how class would it be to have the two Longstaff brothers in the Newcastle lineup together? You know, I think Matty's probably got a little way to go yet, but in the same time, Sean Longstaff pretty much came out of nowhere when he walked into the team. So fingers crossed Matty can do it as well, because then that would be cracking. And I've been saying it, you know, we needed a bit of momentum after the Preston loss, to then go and beat Hibs, go and beat St Etienne. The lads, since the game, have now been in getting their media stuff done, all of the photos, Premier League, like walkouts and all that kind of thing. That looks to have been happening this week. And as I said, we are edging closer and closer to the start of the Premier League, which actually starts on Friday night when Liverpool take on Norwich, before Newcastle play on Sunday at 2 o'clock. And to finish off with the Arsenal game, as I mentioned, it's on Sunday, it's at 2 o'clock, it's on the TV. I mean, we are literally on the telly every other week for the first 2 months of the Premier League, pretty much. They seem to love having us on the telly. We often lose when we're on the TV, so fingers crossed that isn't the case on Sunday. Arsenal side of things, Lacazette is still potentially injured. He was left out of their most recent pre-season because of an ankle injury. That's potentially good news for us. The bad news for us is they got their man. They got Pepe, £70+ million for this guy. And I've no doubt he's going to cause us a little bit of trouble at the weekend. Looking at the game, I would say defensively we are very strong. Lascelles, Lejeune, Shaw, you know, Fernandes doesn't really get a look in, but I think Fernandes is very good as well. Richie, I think, is cracking left back, as I said already. Right back, Yedlin, Manquillo, I think that's where we could have potentially improved. But as a whole, I think, you know, our strikers haven't had a chance to make a name for themselves yet. But I would say our defence is our strongest place on the pitch. So fingers crossed we can keep Arsenal out. And then, as I've said, to be honest, our strikers, if they can hit the right note, we could certainly cause Arsenal some problems on Sunday. We know Arsenal's defence is an area where they have had a bit of trouble. They haven't really improved it over the summer. You know, if we can get at them, I don't know, the season's starting, everyone's getting excited, and maybe I'm being a little bit over optimistic. I mean, a draw, first game of the season against Arsenal, I don't think that would be a bad result at all. But I'm hoping the lads can go out and do something. In terms of the game, obviously this is something I have not talked about at all. 2 reasons. The first one is I don't in any way want to give my opinion on something, because at the end of the day, you guys know what you want and you can do what you want. You know, it's not for me to say anything, and even if I'm talking about what I think, it doesn't make it right. The second reason, even at this point, I am still a bit in the dark on what I'm doing, to be honest. And if you've not worked out what I'm talking about yet, it's the boycott for the Arsenal game. I have had people comment down below and say, Rob, what are you doing this upcoming season? Have you renewed your season ticket? Are you going to go to the game? I have seen the comments, so I appreciate people asking. I haven't answered them, and the same reason goes for what I've just said there. For the people who are more eagle-eared, they will know that I have renewed my season ticket. I did actually mention it in, I think it was my first Toon Tuesdays that I did all the way back at the start of the summer. And I'm not going to get too deep into this because, as I've mentioned, you know, you guys will do what you want to do. Everyone knows what they want to do. In terms of me, it is just that sore situation where I want to support my local team. I don't want to support the owner, and you can't seem to do one without the other because of the fact you're paying for your season ticket, which goes towards the man upstairs. And as I've said, people are doing things in their own different way. You know, for me, I have bought my season ticket, but I don't buy the strips. I used to always have the new strip. I've not had one in years. I'm continuously wearing. I mean, this one a friend lent me a few years ago, and I never ended up giving it back. But you guys have seen me wearing the classic tops. I don't buy the match day tickets. I don't buy stuff in the ground. I haven't even got Sky, you know. So when Sky are paying Mike Ashley for the games or whatever, I don't have Sky or anything like that. So not even that part of me paying for a monthly Sky pass is even going to Mike Ashley. So from my side of things, it is literally the season ticket. And yeah, as I've said, I'm not going to go too into it. In terms of the games this season, and again, I'm not saying that's not going to change next season or season after. Just my situation right now is that I will be there this season supporting the team, but in terms of the Arsenal game, and this is another, as I mentioned earlier, this is another reason I've not mentioned it, I still don't know what I'm doing with the Arsenal game, because the season's coming up. I'm not going to lie, I'm excited. I want to walk up the hill into St James's Park, and I think that's why it's so tough for some people to step away, because it is a big part of what you do week in and week out. And that's why it's been a struggle for me. The Arsenal game, I don't know what I'm doing. I've heard news about the boycott and everything else, and I think a lot of people are unsure right now. I'm honestly just going to wait and see how I feel on the day. But I understand completely why the boycott is happening, and to be honest, I'm edging more towards it than I'm not. Just not the money side of things, just to make that stand and say, look, this is our club, not yours. We are putting a stand on for that day. You know, money aside, just to say, look, that we can do this. So yeah, as I say, I didn't really want to give my opinion on it, but a lot of people have been asking. The season starts this weekend, so there you go. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. It's a bit of a sour note to end it on, really, but no doubt a lot of you will be looking forward to the season starting regardless. I am excited, even just for Friday. You know, Liverpool, Norwich. Is it going to be a good game? Probably not. But I'm looking forward to heading down the town on Friday night for a pint to watch the game. All right. As I say, thank you all for watching. Drop a like if you have enjoyed another episode of Toon Tuesdays. And I'll catch you later.